What happens when one of Hollywood's most beloved comedic actors walks onto daytime television expecting a friendly chat, only to end up in the crosshairs of a host with a personal vendetta? Today, we're breaking down the explosive confrontation that left the View audience stunned and ended with Ben Stiller being escorted off set. This wasn't just another celebrity interview gone off the rails. It was a full-blown masterclass in how ego, resentment, and unresolved tension can turn live television into a battlefield. Make sure to subscribe and drop a comment below, because this story twists harder than a Stiller comedy, and trust me, you won't believe how it ends. Ben Stiller arrived on The View that morning with his usual easygoing charm, ready to promote his latest directorial project. The audience cheered, the hosts smiled, and for a brief moment everything seemed perfectly routine. That is, until Joy Behar leaned forward with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "So, Ben," she began, her tone deceptively casual, "I have to ask something that's been bothering me for years. You've built an entire career playing neurotic characters, but is that really acting, or just you being yourself on camera?" The room went silent. Even the co-hosts exchanged uneasy glances. Ben chuckled lightly, trying to diffuse the tension. "Well, Joy," he said, "like most actors, I draw from real experiences. But I'd like to think there's more range in what I do than just neurosis." Joy wasn't satisfied. She shuffled her cards with deliberate slowness. "See, that's interesting, because I've been watching your work for decades, and honestly, I don't see the range. Night at the museum, Meet the Parents, same character. Even when you direct, you cast yourself as the same anxious, whiny man-child. Don't audiences deserve better?" The tension in the studio was electric. Whoopi Goldberg tried to interject with a joke, but Joy cut her off with a raised hand. "I think that's a little reductive," Ben replied, his voice still calm but his patience thinning. "If you look at The Secret Life of Walter Mitty or Tropic Thunder, those are very different stories and characters." Joy scoffed. "Walter Mitty was just another neurotic guy with fantasies. And Tropic Thunder? Offensive on so many levels. I don't even know where to start. Offensive how?" Ben asked, his tone sharpening. "Oh, I don't know," Joy shot back. "Maybe the blackface? The mockery of method acting. It was Hollywood making fun of itself while completely missing the point about representation and responsibility." Ben leaned forward now, his composure cracking. "If you'd actually watched the movie, Joy, instead of reading outrage headlines about it, you'd know the entire point was to criticize that kind of behavior, not endorse it. So I just didn't understand your brilliant satire, is that it?" Joy sneered. "Maybe the problem isn't my comprehension, maybe it's your execution. Maybe you're just not as clever as you think you are." The other hosts looked visibly uncomfortable. Sarah Haynes tried to steer the discussion back to Ben's charity work, but Joy ignored her completely. "This whole sensitive guy routine you do, it's tired," Joy continued. "You've been playing the same character for 30 years. When are you going to grow up and actually challenge yourself as an actor?" Ben's hands tightened on the chair arms. "Joy, I came here to talk about my new film, which actually is a departure from what you're describing. But since you seem more interested in attacking me personally than discussing my work, maybe we should just move on." "Oh, so now I'm attacking you?" Joy shot back. "I'm asking legitimate questions about your career and you're getting defensive. You're proving my point. This is exactly the neurotic behavior I was talking about." Ben leaned forward, his voice rising. "No, Joy. This is me responding to someone who clearly came into this interview with an agenda. You're not asking questions. You're making accusations designed to get a reaction." Joy slammed her cue cards onto the table. "I've been doing this job for decades. Ben, I don't need some Hollywood actor telling me how to do an interview. And I don't need a talk show host who hasn't done her homework lecturing me about my own career." Ben fired back. The audience gasped. This wasn't a debate anymore. It was open warfare on live television. Whoopi finally stepped in. "Okay, let's take a breath here," but Joy cut her off. "No, Whoopi, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of entitled actors coming here thinking they can coast on charm and get a free pass. Ben Stiller hasn't done anything innovative in years, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend otherwise." Ben stood abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. "You know what, Joy? You're absolutely right about one thing. I shouldn't have come here expecting a professional interview, Ben said sharply, rising from his chair. I should have known better. Joy shot up as well, her voice brimming with indignation. What's that supposed to mean? It means, Ben replied evenly, maybe you should stick to political commentary where your research consists of reading other people's opinions instead of trying to critique art forms. You clearly don't understand. The studio erupted in gasps. Audience members whispered among themselves. The hosts scrambled to regain control, and Joy's face flushed deep red. Excuse me? She snapped, her voice slicing through the noise. Did you just question my intelligence on my own show? I questioned your preparation, Joy, Ben shot back coolly. There's a difference. Although based on this conversation, maybe both are fair game. The room went silent. You could hear a pin drop as the co-hosts exchanged panicked glances. You arrogant little man, Joy hissed, jabbing a finger toward him. You think because you've made a few movies that makes you better than everyone else? Newsflash, Ben, you're not Scorsese. You're not even Adam Sandler. Ben blinked in disbelief. Did she just say I'm not even Adam Sandler? He asked the others. Joy, Adam Sandler is a wildly successful and talented actor. What exactly are you trying to say here? I'm saying you're a mediocre talent who got lucky in an industry that rewards mediocrity, Joy spat back. And the fact that you can't handle basic criticism proves exactly why your career's been stagnating for the last decade. Sonny Hostin tried to step in. Maybe we should take a commercial break. No, Ben interrupted, his voice suddenly calm and deliberate, the kind of calm that's more unsettling than shouting. I want to hear this. Go on, Joy. Please. Tell America how my career has been stagnating. I'm fascinated by your expert insight into the entertainment industry. Joy, emboldened by the sarcasm, pressed forward. Fine, you want specifics? Your last 3 movies bombed. Nobody talks about your work anymore unless it's to make fun of it. You used to be relevant, Ben. Now you're just another has-been trying to stay in the spotlight by stirring up controversy. Stirring up controversy? Ben repeated, eyebrows raised. Joy, you're the one who started this entire conversation by insulting my work and questioning my talent. I came here to talk about a film that's getting incredible reviews and festival buzz, and you turned it into a personal attack, because somebody has to call you out. Joy snapped, practically shaking with anger. The entertainment press is too scared to tell the truth about fading stars like you. They're all worried about access, about keeping relationships intact. But I don't need anything from you, Ben. I can tell it like it is. Ana Navarro finally managed to cut in. Joy, maybe we can focus on the positive aspects of Ben's work. No, Ana, Joy interrupted coldly. I'm done with this fake Hollywood politeness. Ben's new movie is just another vanity project where he casts himself as the misunderstood genius who gets the girl despite being completely insufferable. Ben stared at her for a long moment, his voice barely above a whisper when he finally spoke. Have you even seen the movie, Joy? I don't need to see it to know what it is, she shot back. So let me get this straight, Ben said, his tone cutting. You're reviewing a film you haven't watched, criticizing work you haven't experienced, and questioning the career of someone whose body of work you clearly haven't studied, all on national television, while calling yourself a professional journalist. The other hosts cringed visibly. Even Joy hesitated, realizing she might have gone too far. But instead of backing down, she doubled down. I've seen enough of your work to know your patterns, she said, and I've been in this business long enough to spot a fraud when I see one. A fraud? Ben repeated, his voice rising again. Joy, I've been working in this industry for over 30 years. I've directed films that grossed hundreds of millions, worked with some of the most respected names in Hollywood. What exactly makes me a fraud? The fact that you think making money equals making art? Joy snapped. You've coasted on the same shtick for decades without ever pushing yourself or taking real risks. Ben let out a short, humorless laugh. You want to talk about risk? Real risk is putting your own money into a project you believe in. It's spending years developing something from scratch. It's standing in front of a crew of 200 people and making decisions that affect their livelihoods. He leaned forward. Tell me, Joy, what risks have you taken lately besides insulting your guests on daytime television? Would you like me to continue this scene to its breaking point, where security steps in and the segment ends in chaos? I can carry it through to that cinematic viral ending in the same tone. Joy's face was now bright red. Don't you dare lecture me about risk, you privileged Hollywood brat, she snapped. I've been speaking truth to power for decades while you've been playing dress up for money. Speaking truth to power? Ben repeated, incredulous. Joy, you're sitting behind a desk on a major network making millions of dollars to give your opinions. You're not some underground resistance fighter. You're part of the establishment you pretend to criticize. At least I have real opinions, Joy shot back. Not some focus-grouped personality designed to sell movie tickets. Ben stepped forward, his composure hardening. Real opinions, he said. Joy, your opinions change with the audience. You don't have convictions. You have talking points. Security began edging closer to the set. Sensing the exchange had gone far beyond the usual on-air tension, Whoopi Goldberg raised her voice in a last attempt to calm things down. Okay, everyone, let's just take a step back. Remember, we're on live television here. But Joy wasn't finished. You know what your problem is, Ben? You can't handle being called out on your own BS. You're surrounded by yes men and publicists who tell you how brilliant you are, and when someone finally challenges you, you fall apart. Not everyone's buying what you're selling anymore. Ben's reply was calm and cutting. Joy, the only person here who can't handle being called out is you. I pointed out that you came unprepared, and you've spent the last 10 minutes proving my point, admitting you haven't even seen the work you're criticizing. This isn't journalism. It's performance art, and not very good performance art at that. The tension was unbearable. Everyone in the studio could sense the breaking point coming. Then Joy made the mistake that ended the interview. She stood up, circled the desk, and got directly in Ben's face. You want to talk about performance art? She hissed. Your entire career is performance art. You pretend to be this sensitive, thoughtful filmmaker. But you're just another narcissistic actor who thinks the world owes him something. Ben didn't flinch, though his voice carried quiet authority. Joy, you need to step back. Or what? She shot back, stepping closer. What are you going to do, Ben? Have one of your little neurotic breakdowns right here on live television? Maybe that would finally make you interesting. Gasps rippled through the audience. Even the camera crew hesitated, unsure whether to keep rolling. Whoopi frantically signaled to the producers off stage. Ben's voice stayed calm but firm. I'm going to do what I should have done 20 minutes ago. I'm leaving. Because this stopped being an interview a long time ago. This is just you working through whatever personal issues you have with me or my success. And Joy, I'm not your therapist? Personal issues? Joy laughed bitterly. You think this is personal? Please. You're not important enough for that. You're just a convenient example of everything wrong with Hollywood entitlement. Then why? Ben asked, his tone suddenly razor-sharp. Have you spent the last half hour attacking me instead of asking a single question about the project I came here to discuss? Why admit you haven't even seen my work, yet feel qualified to dismiss it? And why, he leaned in slightly, are you now standing in my personal space trying to intimidate me on your own show? For the first time all morning, Joy faltered. Ben pressed on. You want to know what I think, Joy? You're threatened by people who create. You sit behind this desk every day critiquing other people's work, other people's lives, other people's success. But what have you built? What have you created that will outlast your next controversial hot take? Joy's composure cracked. How dare you question what I've contributed to this industry? She shouted. I've been fighting for progressive causes since before you were even famous. I've used this platform to speak out against injustice and give a voice to the voiceless. By attacking actors who come here to promote their work? Ben countered. By admitting you don't even research your guests? Joy, you're not fighting injustice right now. You're just being cruel for entertainment value. I am not being cruel, Joy yelled, her voice echoing through the studio. I'm being honest. Something this town wouldn't recognize if it bit them on their surgically enhanced rear ends. Ana Navarro tried to interject. Joy, maybe we should... Stay out of this, Ana, Joy snapped, eyes locked on Ben. This is between me and Mr. Hollywood here. Ben shook his head slowly. No, Joy, this is just you. You decided that instead of doing your job professionally, you'd use your platform to humiliate a guest. And the sad part is, you don't even realize how badly you've embarrassed yourself. Embarrassed myself. Joy's voice rose to a shriek. "You're the one who couldn't handle a few tough questions without melting down." "Tough questions?" Ben laughed, genuinely this time, which somehow made it sting more. "Joy, you haven't asked me one question. Just statements, accusations, and personal attacks. You admitted you haven't seen my work, didn't research my current project, and clearly don't understand the difference between criticism and harassment." Security was now in clear view, standing at the edge of the set as producers gestured frantically from behind the cameras. But Joy ignored them, too far gone to stop herself. "You know what your real problem is, Ben?" she began, her voice trembling with rage. She jabbed a finger toward his chest, her voice trembling with fury. "You just can't handle strong women," she snapped. "You can't stand anyone who won't bow down and tell you how amazing you are." Ben's reply came fast, calm, and razor-sharp. "Joy, this has nothing to do with you being a strong woman. It has everything to do with you being unprepared, unprofessional, and, let's be honest, unkind. There are plenty of strong women in this industry who can challenge guests without resorting to personal insults or proudly admitting they haven't done their homework." "Don't you dare lecture me about professionalism," Joy seethed. "I've been professional my entire career." Ben gestured toward the chaotic set. "Then what do you call this? Attacking a guest's entire career without seeing their work? Turning a simple interview into a personal grudge match? If this is what professionalism looks like to you, maybe it's time to rethink your definition." That was it. Joy snapped. "Get out!" she screamed, pointing toward the exit. "Get out of my studio right now. I don't have to sit here and listen to some washed-up actor tell me how to do my job." Ben didn't move. Instead, he turned calmly to face the main camera. "I want to apologize to anyone who tuned in expecting to hear about filmmaking and instead had to watch whatever this was. And I want to thank the other hosts who tried to keep things professional under impossible circumstances." Joy's face was crimson now. "Security, get him out of here, now!" Two security guards stepped forward, clearly unsure what to do. Ben raised his hands in surrender. "It's okay," he said evenly. "I'm leaving voluntarily. Honestly, I should have walked out 20 minutes ago when it was obvious this wasn't going to be an interview." As he started toward the exit, Joy hurled one last insult after him. "That's right, run away just like you always do in your movies." Ben stopped at the edge of the stage, turned back, and met her glare. His voice was calm, but every word landed like a hammer. "Joy, I hope you actually watch the movie. Not because I need your approval, but because you might finally understand the difference between creating art and creating drama." And with that, Ben Stiller walked off the View set, leaving behind a stunned audience, a host who'd lost all control, and a moment that would go down as one of the most explosive confrontations in daytime television history. What did you think of this intense showdown? Have you ever seen a talk show interview spiral this far out of control? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more unbelievable Hollywood moments you won't want to miss.